So I was cut off on the last video, but the bottom line is that the last slide, all the questions that are asked on these various other slides, I consolidated that into one slide, and here is exactly what you need to answer on the document that you turn in, whether you turn in a Google Doc, a Word doc, a Notepad doc, or you type the answers directly into the Dropbox text box window, or if you email me the answers, whatever. These are the specific questions you need to answer, and they are referenced on these other slides. But the bottom line is come here, and so the question is, when you open the spreadsheet, I have formulas in there. So if you want to click around and see what the formulas are for median, mode, average, and for the rand and rand between functions, that's fine. If you want to do that, try not to save it, but if you do, it shouldn't mess anything up. And then exit out and come in when you're going to do the assignment, and try not to click around too much as you're doing the assignment, because think about it, if I've got formulas, I don't have values typed in those cells. The numbers you see are generated randomly and dynamically every time the spreadsheet is opened. So the question is, open the spreadsheet, look at the first 5 numbers in both of the 2 numeric columns, jot them down somewhere, close the spreadsheet, open it again. Do you get different numbers? Well, doesn't it make sense that you would, because I'm not typing numbers in that spreadsheet. All I've got in that spreadsheet are formulas, 2 of which are random number generators. So therefore, when I'm running the program at one moment in time, and it uses the clock time to generate the random numbers, then I close it, the clock time's different by maybe a few seconds, I'm going to get a whole new list of numbers. Now they're going to be in the range I specified, but they'll be different. They'll be, you know, maybe I got 5 1s and 2 6s and a handful of other numbers one time, and the next time I open it I get 3 6s and 2 1s and something else. So when you close the spreadsheet and reopen it, you should notice that the numbers are not the same, because they are not typed into the spreadsheet. They're generated by those macros, which are just code similar to what you're going to write in Visual Studio. Meaning that if I have a button on a form, and there's code behind that button to generate random numbers, if somebody clicks it 10 times, they should get a different sequence of random numbers than if they click it tomorrow 10 times, for example. And just notice if you tend to see one number, sometimes you will, sometimes you won't, but do you see one number that is generated more often? And think about what that means. Is it really random, or is it pseudo-random, which is a term that you need to Google. So then I tell you to look in some of the different columns for the average, the median, the mode. Do they really help you see if there's true randomness in the number? I mean, does the average really help you tell if there's true randomness, and the median, which is the middle number? The mode, though, right, is the most frequent number, so maybe that's a little more helpful when we're trying to see if the numbers are truly random. And then I've got some other things for you to do. So I'm asking you to define these statistical terms, average, median, mode, and then to think about and answer how helpful they are in really verifying the true randomness of the numbers, or are these proving the numbers are pseudo-random. And so again, that's just food for thought. I don't think I have the spreadsheet open in here. Let me see if I can pull it up really quick so you can see it. I can figure out where it is. Browse to it. And again, I've emailed this to you. This is also in your course. And so I could enable editing. So you will see here, this is just text I've typed in. These are captions. But if you look in each column, I didn't type that number in. I used the rand function. Rand will generate numbers greater than 0 and less than 1, and that's not always very useful. But there's another option for rand between that will give me numbers from 1 to 10, including 1 and 10, as you can see here. And then I've got the average, the median, and the mode. And then what I did was I said for each of the numbers, I did type these in. I used a formula to tell me how many times did the number 1 appear. Well, it appeared 4 times, the number 2, 2. Look, this is a little weird, kind of an outlier, that the number 4 occurred 9 times. I think I've got 50 rows filled in here, so that's a little suspicious about how random the numbers are. And notice right behind that are 5 and 6. So those are things for you to think about. You do have to be careful, because sometimes depending on what you're doing and how you're tabbing through, it'll actually dynamically change the numbers when you're in the spreadsheet. But I'm not asking you for any specific numeric information from the spreadsheet. I'm asking you for general concepts, so that's fine if that happens. So all of this has been emailed to you. It is also in the course content. So you can go to the content and you can scroll to the very bottom and you can see this Excel assignment, and I put everything in this folder. There's the first video I did. I'm going to try to get this video in there. Here's the PowerPoint with the instructions. Here's the spreadsheet. I also emailed those to you in case you have trouble opening them here. Here is the Dropbox, and here is the Computing History Part 3, which is the other assignment that's due by Thursday. This really shouldn't be in this folder, but for right now I'm going to leave it there. If I do move it, it'll just be at the end of content. And so here's the Dropbox. I wanted to show you to make sure you understand how a Dropbox works. It's easier for me if you do it through the Dropbox rather than email. Here's where you could put a link to a Google Doc, or you could actually type your answers in here if you wanted to. Or if you have a folder on your computer like a Word doc, you can browse here. Or you can do write submission and put your answers here. So this is probably the best place if you just want to type your answers in or copy and paste them in from somewhere else. You could put them here, but it's better to put them up there. And then when you're done, whether you type it in, give me a link, or upload a document, you click submit, and then I get the actual assignment from you. And you can put as many in here as you want. If you answer 5 questions in one document, you come back and answer the others later. You can add multiple documents. There's no limit on that number of submissions. And I also posted this video on YouTube. I put the link in the announcement, so if you come back here, well, I posted the first video. I'm going to try to get the second one out there, this one for you, but if you come down in the announcement, you will see here's the YouTube link for that in case the video doesn't work in the course. And I just want to make sure that everybody's aware everything you need is pretty much here in the content. Make sure you've taken the test. There's test 2. Test 1 is somewhere down in here. There's a syllabus quiz, a terms quiz, all kinds of stuff. Computing history video quiz. There's the binary worksheet. Here's test 1. So all of these things are available to you to help you get caught up. So make sure you come in and click on these. Remember, oh, I did this one, I don't need to look at it, or no, I didn't do this one, I better figure out what I need to do. And then you can always go to the announcements. You can see every announcement since the course started in reverse order. So if you want to know what we did day 1, scroll to the bottom and work your way up. And between that and content, you should be able to get caught up with no problem by Thursday. Seniors, you don't have class because of the PSAT. Juniors, I believe you have the PSAT and then you leave for the day. So there, and freshmen, sophomores, same thing. So there is time for you to get caught up by 11:59 p.m. Thursday should you need to do so. If you have any issues with that, please let me know. But remember, Mr. Busman has to grant incompletes and he may not be willing to do that. Grades are due Monday. I want to have them done by Sunday night. So if you run into any issues by the time 11:59 Thursday rolls around, you need to get in touch with me immediately. Good luck.